This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let's get to it. So I'm delighted to have Christian to help me out with this ETL Marketplace. This was his idea originally, but we have to reach critical effect to have the network effect in terms of having enough members that participate in this. Right now, we launched it, it's working, but we do need your help. If we don't get enough participation, this thing won't work. So with that, we'll cover a couple things on the agenda. We'll talk a little bit about the marketplace, billing format, pricing, and how it works. If you haven't visited the site, you can get to it by going in to that etma.com. You can also find it off of our website. It is for members only. You would have to log in to get in. If you have a domain, it'll then send you a password. More than likely, that password will end up in your spam folder. It just seems like 99% of the people who have had that, have registered, have had it in their spam folder. If you don't get it, contact me. I'll make sure that you get a password for it. So with that, real quickly, the idea, the concept behind it is that you can buy and sell bill readers, both for international and domestic. So I'm going to try turning off my webcam because I don't know whether that's causing background noise or what is. But so basically, it's both international as well as domestic. It's telecom, IT, other categories. What we're doing is we're seeking to match sellers and buyers of invoice readers, hence extract, transform, load, ETL capabilities. The marketplace allows firms to search for bill readers and capabilities and identify sellers. And then after you find matches, you take your transaction offline. So here's a little bit of the rationale for participating. You know, the basic concept behind it that Christian came up with originally was, you know, the volume's low with some of these obscure countries or obscure carriers or spend categories. Why invest all that money in developing a reader? Or the other side of it is just ignoring the customer or saying to the customer, I don't have a reader for that, and they're constantly berating you on it. So that's the basic concept behind it. And the other idea as to why you should participate, if you have a capability, there was a time where maybe you thought, oh, this makes me unique, different, nobody else has it. Well, not so much the case today, right? So the here you have the ability to amortize your costs, your development costs. You can by reselling it to other member companies. So that's the basic concept behind it. Any questions or comments on that? Okay.
No questions.
So, you know, the comment that I'm sure we'll hear from some people is, I'd never in a million years would I buy or sell from another company. But, you know, in most cases, firms already have 80% of the readers in place. And we're not really talking about the mainstream categories or vendors. In most cases, members have that capability, they've developed it, or they're already licensing it from another firm. The question is, these obscure categories. I mean, Neil Buckley, who's on the call, he's based in South Africa, for God's sake. That's an opportunity for you to get into that whole South African continent and that whole region without having to develop those capabilities on your own. So when you're responding to RFPs, when your customer says, can you do it? You'd be in a capability to say, yes, I can do it. And I don't have to tell you, with this whole coronavirus thing, things have gotten a lot more difficult now. Time zones and everything else. This is a way to really simplify your life. So that's the basic concept. So let's get into a little bit of how it works. So basically, the concept here is a customer may need carrier A, B, and E, right? And you've got a member that's got expertise with regard to A and B, and then you've got another member that's got expertise with carrier E. Boom, now you're able to meet that customer's needs, right? So really makes a lot of sense. in terms of that. So I was showing the presentation at the beginning of the, before everybody got online, but I'm going to just lighten it up with the presentation. Oops, that didn't work. Let's see whether I can go back and whether I can get this thing to open, or just play it. Hang on a second. So this video I can send to you. It's also on our website. I can send you a link to it. We've got it on YouTube. So
So the first part was how you load an offer, and now it's how you use it. You know, when you go in the marketplace, how you make a search and how you find a match with your needs.
Will there be a voiceover or any kind of
we
audio?
haven't done a voiceover for this. I think it's pretty intuitive with the explanation, but I suppose we could do a little bit of a voiceover to get this thing better. But I think it's pretty straightforward in terms of once you get the text that explains what's happening.
After that, maybe we will go in the live portal, and I will make some explanations.
Right. Yeah, there's just a couple more slides that I have that walk through some details about the ETL marketplace, but this really explains it, you know, in terms of the input requested. But yeah, there's nothing like seeing a live demo of it.
But with this movie, you can see how you request, how you receive an email, and then you can, you receive the request, you open it, you see what was requested, and then you get in contact with the requester, and then you can see everything that you request and the requests that you received. That I won't be able to show in the demo because so far I'm the only one having offers on the marketplace, and we need at least to be two for that part to work.
Right. Without the network effect of you loading in offers and you searching for capabilities, we have nothing. I mean, this marketplace, I think, looks really, really good in terms of the technology. Like I said, I think it's we're happy with it. I'll buzz through it one more time, and we can kind of, Christian and I can kind of talk through some of the stuff that's going on. But you could search. This is the overview. You could search by country, vendor, or bill type, so you can look for it, and it's got just the search is built right into it. You can look at your company offers in the marketplace, so you can see what offers have I posted. You can look at the requests that are being made of you from other companies that want to buy your capabilities. This is an example of the spreadsheet of what to upload. You load your offers. We've got a CSV file, which I'll share you some of the fields. This is the offer portfolio. So this is how you would import it. So you would upload it. And it comes back to you and says, okay, you just uploaded 4 records. And you can see from the actions, it's all pretty intuitive of what you would do. You can also load it individually, but it's easier to load it from the spreadsheet. This is how you log into it. So you have a username and a password.
So you start with a search, what do I search? I want, who is doing orange in any country? Simple. So I have 4 formats and 2 providers. So I can take the wireline for both providers and I can make a compare. So I can see how different they are. And you will see that, field to field how they are. You will see that one is doing CDRs, the other is not. One is doing extraction of the data, the other is doing always, the other is not doing it. So it's just the price point can be different or they are the same, but the quality can be also different. And then if you are happy with one, you make a request and that will send an email to the offeree. And so you say, how many bands do you have? Estimate number of lines, any additional comments. So at least when I receive a request, I know in the detail what is the volume involved. So that's my request, receiving it. I can see the details. And after I can directly make my business with the other member.
And that is it, basically, in a nutshell. That is what the marketplace is all about. The billing format, as best as we could, we tried to keep it simple and stable, just the necessary fields for both wired and wireless services. We may need to add fields if we add additional categories outside of your traditional telecom areas, because we envision this being used for IT and other categories of expenses. Really no limit to the expenses. The output could be a zip file, and the ideal is that it always balances, right? The adjustments are created for rounding errors. These are some of the fields that we need in this. So country, vendor, bill type, that sort of thing. These are all the fields. Minimum volume without extraction, minimum volume without an extraction price per line, with extraction. So extraction would mean that you have an arrangement with another company. They're extracting it from the operator or carrier every month on your behalf, versus you could have a situation where you say, no, I'm going to have my own people get the billing file, but I can't process it, or files rather, yeah. I'm going to put it somewhere on the web or somewhere in a safe place, and then the vendor that's going to extract it for me is going to do the work from that. So that's kind of the fields. The upload file, we have a spreadsheet. This is what it looks like. And let's see whether I could pull up the, I may not be able to open it. Let me just see whether I can open it real quickly. The, we may come to it later. The directions on, we've got a file.
Oh, the instructions.
Yeah.
There is it's on the marketplace itself. I can open it if later I share my screen and I show them.
Yeah, I got it, but something new with this I'll let you do it.
Instructions and details of how you prepare a file to integrate into the marketplace.
Right. Okay. So, and then this is just the whole concept behind the pricing. Obviously, the right price is going to be a right price that's right for you, the buyer and the seller. We'd like to recommend that you use the standard pricing that we develop, but you can tailor it to meet your needs. Some key points in this: the difference between with extraction or without extraction. So we've got different pricing for this. Another key point where things could get really hammered is if everything is not available from the carrier. And really the only answer to that is full disclosure in the marketplace. And most importantly, before you finalize the offer price, purchase price, you're probably going to have the customer that you buy from do a test so that you could finalize it and make sure that it's everything that you want it to be. And obviously, in some cases, the carrier doesn't provide that capability, all the fields. And in other cases, it could be a situation where maybe the company that you're buying from can't parse that data for whatever reason. The other thing that comes up is, as I said earlier in this presentation, about 80% of the billing most companies could process today. So it's that 20%, the tip of the tail, as Chris Mullen likes to say from NTT. Well, that tip of the tail, how do you protect if it's not worth our members doing the processing? And the best protection that we could think of is minimums, either for the total dollar amount or the lines. And you have to look at it as it's a starting point. More often than not, it's going to be the development of a relationship with a lot more billing that you build into it over time. So there's that. Also, how do you differentiate? Is it just the invoice? Is it going to be invoice and CDR called detail records? Is it also going to have the inventory? Well, maybe there's different pricing for that. So those are just some things to consider with the price. Now here is the controversial slide. Here is the standard pricing. So, it would be based on this, with or without extraction, price per lines, this sort of thing. And like I said, I realize that this is a very controversial slide, but as I said before, there's ways around it, right? So without a doubt, you could have a situation where you decide, okay, you know what, that pricing doesn't work too well for me. I'm going to need to put in my own pricing, and that's perfectly fine. You can do that. The point is we want to have pricing in the system as much as possible, because that's going to make it more likely that people are going to contact you with, hey, I want to do business with you, or I need to learn more about this. And obviously, in many cases, your pricing may be contingent on volumes, and may be contingent on other things. So, with that, let's go to the website. And Christian, do you want me to make you the presenter and let you?
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So I'll let you walk us through it.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to talk to here. Can you see?
We can see.
Okay. You can see the marketplace, because I have two screens just to be sure that I'm showing up the right one.
Yeah, we got it. We can see Christian.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be a little like the video, but we can just see. So when you use it, the first thing you do is you make, like SFR. You want bill, so you can, if you're looking for a specific country, you put the country. So the only offer we have are in France, so I'm going to pick France, otherwise I will be have empty answer. And I can have want to see maybe have a need for wireline, wireless, cloud services, whatever type of invoices. So let's say I want SFR in France and wireless. Okay, and with invoices, not CDRs especially. So I have one match, okay, and I have an EDI format for wireless that we import, and then you can see the detail here. Okay, so it's a little basic, but you see there is invoices. You see there is, we don't have them through the portal. There is a CDRs. There is no inventory. There is no assets. Other details about the range. You can go 12 months back. That's the price. We apply here the basic price. But as an offeree, I'm really free to put the price I want. If I feel that I want to make it twice more expensive, I can just change the price if I want. It's my offer, okay? But here, if I am a visitor and I'm looking for that, that's the price that the vendor is offering. That doesn't keep you from negotiating or find an arrangement offline with a member, and it's an indicative price. After that, it depends, of course, of the volumes, of the frequency, how long is going to be the contract, any kind of factor that can impact the price. So again, the price, you don't have to worry about it in the sense that you can make your own price, and even if they bring the price on the website, then you can go and speak with a vendor, and you will see what you want to negotiate. If you are the operee, you can arrange it. It's a free market. We discussed, and by the way, there were a group of work about the pricing, so we agreed on that price. It's very difficult to know what is a good price, but it's and I'm again, when we are with Joe, very open to any comments, suggestions, and stuff. But if we want this marketplace to work, this marketplace is not for me. It's for you. It's for everyone. So it's for the ETMA members. So we need everyone to participate, to place the offer they want to sell, and have the reflex to make some lookups here when they have some international files. It's much more for international than roaming than outside of the US, that in the US. In the US, most of you know how to do it. You can work with providers such as InvoiceIQ or others, but the really what is challenging is when you are outside of the US, you'll get customers that are in the US and in South Africa, in the US and in Germany, in Spain, in France, or wherever. This can be tough for you to be able to treat medium and small volumes for a customer that got big volumes in the US and smaller in other countries. So this is really the purpose of the marketplace. So here you have the details, but the creation, it was not updated. So in September, that will be, if I don't update this offer, that will be off the marketplace. It needs to be updated at least one time per year. Any comment and questions here? Is that clear?
Yeah, before you jump, Christian, could you just go back real quickly? There was a comment field on the pricing. So if you wanted to put like a caveat with your pricing and put in pricing, but say subject to, negotiation or subject to further discussion, right? You can easily add that into it. So you don't have to worry, oh, I put the price in there. Now I'm stuck with this price. I can't change it. You can put in there, subject to finalization or subject to, volumes, or, you can put that
duration.
Anywhere in there, but yeah, subject to duration or something. So you've got lots of room there to put pricing in there, but then change it after the fact or adjust it up or down based on the circumstances, because of course that's how we all work with customers. We're always, adjusting based on competitive situation, based on volumes, everything else. Questions, comments? Okay.
Joe, the only comment I have this morning, I joined a little late, so I might have missed the beginning, but this looks pretty great. I mean, it's impressive, right? And I think maybe it was Christian making the point earlier, like once we fill this thing with offers and sellers and buyers, it's going to be pretty slick, right? I think it's going to do all of us a lot of good. It's just a question of getting to that point where there's a lot of content in it. Good
Yeah,
job,
so
guys.
most of you have people that handle your billing, and that would be the obvious person to manage this for you. You know, just to make a decision on your end, hey, we want to do this, and have them load the offers in there, manage the offers, periodically bring them to your either your channel partner person, you know, or whomever it is. But yeah, you know, we need the network effect to take effect in there. The other thing that I'm playing around with is, if necessary, we could increase the volume by making it open to non-members, right? And saying, hey, this is a way for us to attract new members, as well as to potentially get additional buyers or sellers for you. You know, we don't
I'm
plan to
back.
do that initially.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I had a connection drop. So are we done with this page?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so if I come back here, I show you how we can. So you can, well, you saw that you can import offer, download the template. When you download the template, you have a zip file, which here we go. You have the template itself, and you have the instructions. So everything to understand how to prepare that, so you don't have an error. Okay. And then you import offer. So I'm going to check this one we had. So this is how it's looking like. And it's imported. And now I have a bigger portfolio. Which is fake, just for the demo. So I have some Brazil, Spain, UK, okay, and other kind of formats. And again, if I have, let's say I want to see, well, that's the same vendor, but if you have two vendors, you can have a look like that and go and compare. You can compare, I think, up to 3 offers at the same time. Then you can see field by field who's doing what. Okay, and you can compare the price, you can compare the quality, the kind of details you can extract, you can see the comments and everything. Okay, so I cannot make a request because I cannot make a request on my own offer. But as soon as other vendors will load offers, I will be able to make search and ask for help and ask for services to members, because I'm sure there is format that you can handle that I cannot, and vice versa. So can we have some maybe reaction and comments about the price or the reason why so far nobody used this marketplace? Because we don't need to keep it open. If it's useless at one point, we will close it. But if it's useful, we like to understand what is a road blocker today.
So I'm thinking on our end, Christian, we just need to promote this more heavily, and we will be doing that. It is in the Find Your Next Strategic Partner survey. We do have this as a question. Will you participate in it? And we got the rationale for why to participate. So we're going to ratchet all this stuff up. I mean, this is the time to do it for sure. I think it makes a lot of sense for our members. I know we have people that are looking for these capabilities and looking to sell these capabilities, because I've talked to enough of you about it. So it's just a question of timing, I think, and maybe we need to do a better job promoting this for you.
Well,
Other comments
frankly,
or thoughts?
well, I have a comment. Is frankly, we built that a year ago, and nothing happened. I mean, a year and a half almost, and nothing happened. So I think we gave some time. I would like to know each of the members here that actually you have a point of interest with this marketplace, otherwise you won't be on the call. I would like to understand what is your interest for this marketplace and what you would like to change or to improve to make it more useful or to start to use it.
Yeah,
So
I'll comment on that. This is Chris Lee.
Chris.
Hey, Christian. So we're probably one of the rare entities that this is our entire business doing this stuff. And so I think the price transparency works. Again, we have lots of customers we do this for in bulk. And, so I think if we could throw pricing out there, like we don't price out sort of, like this, onesie, twosie, it's more of a bulk offer. So, we could put some notes. We're going to look at this again, but we probably put some notes in the pricing notes about, we want to price probably differently than this. That's all. It's volume and scale dependent. So maybe we just put in this price point is for the lowest tier and put some notes around it or something. But the problem we've had is the putting the pricing out there like that. We have lots of different contracts with existing customers that, we just don't want to put anything out there that doesn't make sense.
I think, Chris, for you, it would be a tool to promote your services and price to be discussed anyway with anyone. I'm working with you, so I know that your price is more complex than that because you have a lot of factors that, depending on the formats and the volumes and many things. So I understand that is not matching because it's very simplistic here. But nevertheless, you have a very large range of carriers you can offer, and even if the price is not on the website and need to be discussed, will be a very nice exposure and very useful for members.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll give it another shot here, and Bob and I, who's on too, we'll discuss and figure out.
Especially the wireline when it's very complex in the US because there is so many vendors, and your value. One of your values is really the ability to handle. And we are working together, and we have no issue at all for any vendors we are asking you to prepare. And I'm sure that will be very beneficial to other members.
Yeah, cool. Right. So we'll probably see us on there shortly then.
Great.
What about the others?
So, Joe, Christian, this is Dean Keeler from AMI. A couple questions, a couple statements. I think it's a pretty cool opportunity. It sounds to me like it's a great opportunity for one-offs, things that I don't have high volume for and things like that. But one question I have is the SLA or the turnaround time, when is that dictated down in the agreement area between the customer and the vendor who's supplying the service, or is that discussed solely on a opportunity by opportunity, or is there something in here in the website that I didn't see that talks about the turnaround time?
That's a good question, and honestly, I just don't remember. I know we work with SLAs. Joe, do you have a recall of where are we on the SLAs? Maybe it's just here.
Yeah, so our thinking on the SLAs, we originally talked about having like a standard SLA for everybody, but Dean, you just highlighted exactly why we didn't do that, which is the problem with the, we didn't do the fact completely, so we got to do that. So the problem with the SLAs is exactly what you said. It's going to vary based on a lot of different factors, right?
Right.
Our consideration was, ultimately a lot of this stuff is going to be taken offline, where people are going to, do it based on the circumstances. So certain carriers maybe have a different SLA. certain situations you're going to have a different SLA. And Chris can speak to this too. Chris Lee can speak to this. But in a lot of situations, it may also be dictated by your volumes too. Bigger volumes, you may be able to hold the carrier into a better SLA than where the volumes are really low and it's really obscure. So our thinking was the marketplace, the purpose of the marketplace is to put companies together. We also talked about should we do like an Amazon rating where we have members rated by stars? And at the end of the day, we decided against that just because we thought there was just too much risk involved, and would people sue the association if they felt like they were bad-mouthed or something? And were we really going to have enough volumes? And just as we talked about with the pricing, where there's so many factors that go into it, the same thing would apply with the ETL marketplace. There, as Christian said, he's doing business. A lot of people are doing business with Chris. Once you get the thing working, it works. Yes, there are going to be some hiccups along the way. Oh, an unannounced bill format change, or all of a sudden a particular carrier drops their EDI, and now you're scrambling around trying to. So all of that stuff is subject to discussions, and that's where that's the hallmark of great service among our members and with their customers is the companies that succeed have the communications in place, and that overcomes any issues with the SLAs, because it's in most cases people are doing it honest and the best that they possibly can.
Right. Okay. So the details of the opportunity is between the customer and the vendor. And some of those details might be in those notes down there that I saw below regarding the offer.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Neil, can you tell us what about you and what is your interest for ETL Marketplace?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Christian. Yeah, so I mean, I think from our perspective, the delay has really just been a focus thing. There was a lot of to and fro getting it to the point of where it is now. I know it was built a while ago, but yeah, as I said, it was just a focus thing. It's looking really good. I think it's going to be a case of putting some offers up and seeing what the appetite is like. We haven't got that much opportunity outside of our own continent right now, but I'm hoping there'll be opportunities for the rest of the ETMA members in Africa. So yeah, hopefully we can plug that hole, but we'll get some offers up on here in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, great. Thank you,
and Neil, I think there could be opportunities also to expand this into some of the categories that you're doing outside of telecom, into cloud and other things. That it dovetails into the find your next strategic partner opportunity as well.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that for sure. And IoT potentially as well.
Okay.
Manny, what are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, we kind of, I think, tried to run at it maybe, 6-8 months ago, and there were some issues with the platform, or it wasn't ready or whatever, and we got distracted by other things and sort of were waiting, right? And so I didn't realize it was ready to go yet. So I'll get sort of the team focused back on it again, and we'll start looking at it. But there's lots of opportunity for us, because we definitely have situations where we have customers that expect a certain level of data fidelity from us, and they get it in the US, and then they ask us to go and do things in other countries, and we can never quite give them what they get from us here, right? And so having someone else be able to grab that data and normalize it for us and stuff is going to be a big asset.
Okay, awesome.
Just a prioritization and focus thing for us, Joe.
Okay, Manny, do you have some knowledge and know-how on some carriers outside of the US? Not all of them, but maybe a few ones that you are doing well because you have some volume and that you could also explore there and offer.
We probably could, but I think the places where we've done the most outside the US are probably places where someone else is doing even more that's in this ETL marketplace, right? So, we're doing a lot with Vodafone in the Netherlands. We're doing a lot in the UK. We've got a pretty big deployment in Japan, another one in Singapore, right? So I think we can go to the team and say, hey, what have we got for each country? But my guess is as we go through this marketplace, for most places outside the US, we're more likely to be a buyer than a seller. But if there's opportunities where we can sell, we definitely do that. But I think,
yeah. So Manny, I would recommend you to expose, even to me, which I'm European, so I'm working with in many countries in Europe. I would be interested for capabilities in UK, in Netherlands, and in Japan for sure.
Okay.
So you should not be shy, and I'm sure you have value to bring to the marketplace. I'm super happy if you find some match and you can buy, but I would be also super happy if you can make some offers. And the idea is you can be both sides. You can buy and find what you want, but if you get some specific good knowledge on some carriers, just amortize them and make some money out of your knowledge, and that will be helpful for other members.
Yep, we'll do.
Okay, thank you.
Jonathan, with Modus, you're new to this all, and you're seeing it for the first time. But any thoughts that you want to share with us?
Hey guys, thanks Joe. Yeah, I think my goal was to try to get a better understanding of what the system is, how it's going to work, and I think this has been very helpful for that. I think right now I'm in sort of a discovery mode, and I'm sort of curious to see, it sounds like there's going to be some efforts to, ramp up participation, and I'd like to see how that goes and figure out, what makes sense for us in that.
Do you see yourself as a buyer and seller, or what do you think? And I know this is very preliminary. Buyer, okay.
Very much on the international side.
But okay, as a seller or as a buyer?
Buyer on international.
Buyer, okay. And because you don't want to expose your capabilities, or because you don't feel that you will have value for the marketplace?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part of that.
The question is, why don't you want to be a seller also?
It's not really the model we have in place. For us, it's more about being able to support a diverse set of data flows for customers. Sometimes they'll hit us with a request for a country that's obscure, it's difficult to map to, and so being able to be flexible and accommodate things like that on the fly, I think is of value to us.
Okay. Thank you.
Eric, For Telecom Help had a couple queries earlier on international, very specific. Do you know whether Jill was ever able to take care of those? And again, I don't want you to speak out of school if you can't.
Well, sure. Unfortunately, I don't have any information on those. I know that I mentioned to her after our last call a few months ago that, I think this would be something for her to take a look at when needed, and she agreed. So I think she checked it out, but I don't know what happened with those queries. Okay. I can check with her, but I don't know what happened. Sorry.
Yeah. Again, we're going to be promoting it very heavily as part of the Find Your Next Strategic Partner survey. It's in there. Will you participate? I believe I've got it as a buyer and seller as an option. If I don't, I'll make sure that that's checked off in there, that's an option for people to indicate or, tell me more, something like that, I believe is the survey option. So we've got, a lot of capabilities in there. And again, I think obviously it's a win-win where buyers and sellers could take advantage of it, and it just solves that nagging issue with customers where they say, well, you're doing 80% of it, but when are you going to get to XYZ country or XYZ provider? So
Joe, one suggestion, just as a thought, in the survey, you might want to consider not, I call it the negative question. Why wouldn't you use something like this? or are you opposed to using something like this and why? Because you're asking the positive question, saying, are you interested? It's easy for people to say yes, but you're also trying to find out, if they would say no or why they wouldn't use it. Just something to throw in there to see if you can get better feedback on why someone wouldn't use it or isn't using it.
It's a good point. I'll add that into it. I like that. I'll use some skip logic or I'll
right.
take a look at doing it concise so that it's not something that everybody has to go through. But I love it. That's a really good point. So, other points or questions? Do you want to see anything else in the marketplace?
We didn't hear David, and neither Bob.
Okay, well, I think Chris spoke for Bob.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I think Dean might have spoken for David with AMI. Unless either of you want to add.
No, Chris captured for Invoice IQ.
Okay.
Okay, so real quickly, I'll just pull up. I think I got it up now. Let's see whether. Okay, so what I was going to share with you. Whoops, wasn't that? It was this. So these are the instructions, if you will, that's the Word document. So in addition to the Excel spreadsheet that you can download, and I'm happy to email you the zip file, these are the instructions. So country, it's very important that we use a standard ISO code for the two character countries. So we've got a link that shows you the countries, because if people have different country codes, they could screw things up in the searches and everything. Vendor, pretty straightforward. Bill type, we tried to anticipate a little bit. So we got wireline, wireless, cloud, software licenses, energy, waste, and other. So the thinking was, as other gets populated, we'll customize that and add the customization for what those other bill types are. So, I know we get people like that say, what about Muzak, or what about this or that? So opportunities there. Bill format, pretty straightforward. EDI, web, paper. So these are the fields. And, the thinking is, once you put it in a spreadsheet, you're just kind of dragging and copying, pasting what you're doing, because in most cases, it's going to be pretty standard. Bills, bill payment remit to address, is that included in the file? Are the bills available through a portal if you're a seller? CDRs, all sorts of things. Do you have mobile bundle utilization, extraction? Is it always, is it a requirement? No, you're not going to perform extraction for other companies. They need to do it. What's the historical range? How far back can you go with this type of bill? It's going to vary. In some cases, it's 12 months, but in some cases, maybe it's further, but in some cases, it's less. What's your minimum volume without extraction, right? So all kinds of things about volumes, right? Any price comments? So like Chris's comment, subject to, volumes, and please call us for more details. Vendor offer details, general comments. So all kinds of things.
Joe, are the core pricing fields required? Do you have to put something in instead, or can you put like zeros and all those and put call us?
I think it's required today. Let me just check really quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
I think it's required, but maybe you can put like zeros and you put in the comment call us for a quote.
Yeah, I don't know whether zero would be a good option though. Maybe somebody would think, oh, it's no cost, but
it will know. The price. Yeah, the price is. Yes, the price is compulsory. No, sorry. No, there is. No, the price is not.
Okay,
only
so
the minimum volume. No, the price is not. You don't have to put the price. You can put nothing.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so that's a big deal. And I'm sure, even though we don't remember it, I'm sure at the time we deliberately said, okay, price, let's leave it open. But the volumes, minimum volumes, I guess we decided, okay, that's probably something we want to have in there, because the last thing you want to do is be swatting at things that are just a waste of your time because it's just too small. I think everybody on the call agrees on both sides. If you're a buyer or a seller, if the volumes are too small and they're not going to entertain it as much as you'd like to have a call, probably not worthwhile. So lots of details here. Here's what I'd love to do. I tentatively set up a follow-up call in 2 weeks. Is that enough time for people that are on the call to try to get into the marketplace and load some offers? Or should I push it out like a month with the idea of let's do a follow-up call and give people a chance to say, this is what's working. I couldn't figure out this. You know, we could go 2 weeks, have a very short call, just to answer any questions or, you know, troubleshoot any problems, and then come back 2 weeks later and say, okay, now, you know, we could just keep doing this every month. What do people think? What works best? Should we follow up in 2 weeks?
I think that's good for us. 2 weeks sounds good.
Yeah, month.
Good here. Good here for AMI.
2 weeks is probably a little quick for us, but we'll, you know, still join and update what we can.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, could you guys send those fields with which ones are required and which ones are not required? Because that would certainly impact our efforts. You know, there's 26 fields there, so if 5 are required versus 26, then that's a different level of effort to start putting stuff in there. So if you guys could update that, that'd be much better.
Yeah, well, if you register in the marketplace, and again, you could just, 5 minutes, and then you get the file with everything, and you get the form that I showed before, and you will see what is required and what is not. And there is not much that is really required.
Okay.
No, there is like 5 or 6 fields required. This is it.
Is that on the spreadsheet, Christian?
Well, I can tell you, you have the country, the bill type, bill format, the 3. If you have the bill payment remit address, yes or no, bill available through the portal, yes or no, that's 3, 5. And you have service inventory, yes or no, asset inventory, yes or no, mobile bundle, do you have them, the detail, yes or no, and then extraction, and then you type of price, and you put non-standard, for instance, Chris, you put non-standard and then colors for more details. This is it. So it's about 8 very basic information. But
Who should we direct questions to? Is it Joe or Christian?
Send them to both of us, and that way I can kind of put it into the FAQs as I see the questions. But it sounds like in the FAQs, we definitely need to have something in there that's easy to link to, where you can see what fields are required. And I'll try to see whether we can change that zip file and adjust the required field so that you can see it very clearly. And I think, where are you getting that from, Christian, right now? I'm looking at the spreadsheet and sharing that online with people, and it doesn't really say, yes, it's required, but I think it's in our spec that we wrote up for the vendor that created this as well.
Yeah, you can see that on the website, on the portal. When you add an offer, you have all the fields, like a big tower, and you see there is a red star next to each required field, and there is 8 of them.
Okay, let me make you the presenter, and just if you would quickly show that.
Sure. Hold on. Can you see my screen now? No, maybe not. Hold on. Yeah, you see my screen now. Can you?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so add an offer. So country, bill type, bill format. So country is easy. You make a search. Bill type, bill format. You know, is it EDI, web, paper, PDF? Do we have billing payments, remit, add address details yet? Do we have these invoices through the portal? Yes or no? Here, do we have service inventory? Yes, no, or partial. Asset inventory? Yes, no, or partial. Do we have the bundle, mobile bundle utilization? Do we do extraction? This is a very important field. Can we extract, or do we need the MND to make the extraction? And the price is standard or non-standard, and this is it.
Perfect. Okay, and I'll get that in an FAQ, and I'll also send that out to everybody so that you can see that and see it's a fair point. Everybody's concerned about how much effort is this to load in offers, and again, it's one of those things where if we don't have the network effect where people use it, then we're not going to get offers, and we won't get people using it. But if we can get everybody to participate, it's a win across the board. Great. Any other questions or comments? We're right on an hour. We could go longer, but I want to be respectful of everybody's time.
No, I think we're good. Thank you, Joe, for organizing the call, and thank you for everyone for the participation. I'm really excited that we can get some offers and this marketplace up and running.
Excellent. Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
much. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.